quotidien. Tu sais, ça fait.
Let me floss this bling, make a dime scream. Got my bands up, I'ma blow it on a dream. Candy paint drip, partners on lean, scrapers on deck, party with the team. Pimpin' ain't easy.
That's a great question, but simply put, you're talking about rappers, and I consider myself an MC. You're also talking about commercial rap. It's called commercial rap because it's a commercial. And if you want a deal, if you want a major label deal, you got to consider the fact that it's a commercial. They're propagating a commercial. They're propagating images, they're propagating agendas, they're propagating thought paradigms. And you either play their game and you get a deal or you don't. Why don't I glorify violence? Because I have values, man. And I ain't gonna lie. Anything you guys listen to a rap song, I've done that crap, man. I've been there. I've done that. I survived it. I almost went to jail for it. I almost got shot. Like, I'm not here to talk about that, to glorify that, to make myself sound cool, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I got values. My daddy's a pastor, so like I was raised in the church. I've got these morals and all this stuff instilled in me. Like I'm totally against organized religion. I don't care for it. It has its purpose and it does its thing, but it's not my thing. So like don't get it twisted, and I could go into even more details. Like I come from meager everything, so I got nothing, like I really got nothing to brag about. To go back to the beginning of the questions, like I've come from absolutely less than nothing, and this, like, what you see is my natural habitat right now. Like, I'm not just a rapper, I'm not just an artist, like this is a machine. And yes, what a hell of a way to start off this interview. J.Smo of B.U.N.K.S, bringing unmatched noise, knowledge, and sound since 1999 from Manchester, Tennessee. Now I'm in Sacktown. We don't back down. We're gonna build this underground railroad and show y'all how we track down. Anyway, next question. It's a little complicated because the bonus track, Angelo's Breakdown, was recorded originally in 2006 at Small Barn Sound in Hillsborough, Tennessee. Then the FM Down track, Wish You Were, that was recorded, it had to have been 2012 or 2013. That was around the time I had my car wreck. And then the other songs, they didn't get made or produced until like within the past 12 months. So honestly, it wasn't something I set out to do. It's not a project I was like, hey, I'm going to do this, and it's going to be called Purgatory, and this is going to be the concept behind it. No, I just had, what happened was I started working. I've always wanted a live band, but I've never been able to keep one organized and on a schedule and behind me at all times. But I am a music blogger, MiddleTennesseeMusic.com. And because of that, I'm exposed to thousands. I have seen thousands and thousands of independent bands come and go. Some come. With that said, the best thing about independent bands is that normally you can just contact them directly and get permission to use a song. So instead of like trying to flip samples of commercial songs that you have to get licensed and everything, I have this whole pool of music that gets sent to me for free from all these bands that want promotion. So what happened was I started remixing them. Like I would hear a song and be like, man, I want to flip this. I want to make this into a hip-hop beat, and so I did. So with the exception of Chin Up and Swim was sent to me by Brother Octopus, who is an artist I've featured several times on MiddleTennesseeMusic.com. Leslie Rahansky, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but I've featured her on the blog several times. She actually approached me and was like, can you take this song of mine, and I want a hip-hop version of it. And I was like, I'm up, challenge accepted. And so then that song came about. Swim, Brother Octopus actually sent me that instrumental and was like, can you put some lyrics to this? So that's how that one went down. The rest of them, I just heard the song and I vibed with them so much I wanted to flip them. Now I have others, like there's other songs I'm working on. This isn't like, I didn't just do this for this project, but once I had like 5 or 6 of these independently banned sampled songs flipped or whatever, I was like, I could put out an EP with this and it would be interesting to see how people react to it, and then they get worked on over time. So Purgatory, how long? Years, I guess, is the technical answer. But honestly, it just, as soon as all the songs were there, I was like, I'm gonna put this together in an EP, and that EP ended up being called Purgatory. What have I gotten myself into? I answered this in the previous question, but no, I didn't. This didn't happen on purpose. The bands either asked me if I wanted to do a collaboration with them, or I heard one of their songs and decided I wanted to flip it, and then I asked for permission. I gotta be honest, I haven't listened to any of those artists' music in a really, really long time, and the only reason I have those listed is for marketing purposes, because I was at one time huge fans of these groups, but I don't listen to these groups like on a day-to-day basis. I have like way too many music submissions I have to sort through, and by that time I'm ready for just silence. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like. Atmosphere is probably on this list. Atmosphere is the Slug sent me this years and years ago. See how rad. I still wear it every winter, all winter long. This is my favorite hoodie. It is like the most durable, highest quality hoodie I've ever had. But Slug sent this to me as a Christmas gift. I won't go into that story, but
I just wanted respect, but they'll never collect it. I just got what they want, another drug to their addiction.
So I actually grew up in several small towns throughout Tennessee. When I was born, my parents were living in Selmer, which is off Tennessee River outside of Memphis. But we were living in Savannah, and there's no hospital there. I was born in Selmer. But we were living in Savannah, which is, there's a big dam there, and the big thing there is catfishing on the Tennessee River. Lived there for a couple years, and then I was 2, 3-ish. We moved to Crossville. Up on the Cumberland Plateau, lived there for a few years. Then we bounced. When I started kindergarten, we had just moved to Lynchburg, Tennessee, home of Jack Daniels. We moved to Hillsborough, Tennessee, which is outside Manchester. That's where all my people are. That's where I made all my friends. J.Smo, B.U.N.K.S, Small Barn Sound, Steven Thoreau, C. Brett. All my people are there. DMC crew, the Brew crew, Music Tree Fest. That's my home. I consider Manchester home. So then when I went to college, I went to MTSU, bounced up to Murfreesboro. I lived there for a while. But to get back to your question, I bought my first cassette tape when I was 6 years old. I lived in Lynchburg, Tennessee. There was no like hip hop culture. No one knew what rap music, hip hop, that. No one. I was like the only guy that I knew that like it was my thing. Hip hop was my thing. You feel what I'm saying? But to answer the question, doesn't matter what I'll listen to. That's not part of your question. But yes, everything was more prevalent. Country music was the thing. I tried to get into country music. I did, man. I tried so hard to get to be a country music fan, and I couldn't do it. I was miserable. Yeah, man. I was alone. And I think I touched on this in the first question. I'm coming from the game completely outside of it, man. I did not grow up in a hip-hop city. I did not grow up around a bunch of people who were part of the culture. I was on my own, watching it from the outside, getting it from books, getting it from TV, getting it from radio. Now I'm in Sacramento, and I came out here for opportunities, came out here to give my kids better opportunities in the future, came out here for my wife's career, and it's beautiful out here, so... Yeah, I'm in a hip-hop city now, though, and it feels good. It feels really good to finally be somewhere where hip-hop thrives, man, because Sacramento holds hip-hop down. They really do, from every freaking angle. We have all styles here. We have all frames of mind. We got everything here, but it's all part of hip-hop, man. They love it here, and I love it here. So, finally home, I guess. Or one, you could say that this is one home, a new home. I honestly don't remember because, like I said, I'm not from a hip-hop city. I'm not from anywhere like us trying to get book hip-hop shows and put on hip-hop shows in Tennessee especially was like the most difficult, crazy thing. Like, we were insane trying to do that. I mean, we did it anyway, and we pulled it off, and we rarely ever had packed crowds or anything like that. But the most successful show that I know about was Blazing in the Borough. My Streetlight All-Stars fan, man. They probably put on the best series of shows that were anyway related to hip-hop and supported hip-hop and hip-hop culture in Murfreesboro during my time there. It was always a pain. if she doesn't stop interrupting this interview. I use that green and gold MXL V67, at least in the studio. If I'm performing, there she is calling again. Great question. Especially since I've been interrupted about 50 times throughout this interview already by phone calls from my wife. I'm surprised my kids haven't come running in here and gotten up in this business. But how do I keep it all straight? Also, you might want to add I'm a substitute teacher to this list, because that's the most recent thing I've started doing. Marketing budgets for music are not cheap. Neither is PR. PR is not cheap. So, I mean, well, you're right. You have to prioritize. I am a father and a husband first, family first. Then after that, it comes down to money. I mean, I've got several different businesses, so I have to prioritize what I do based on how much value is coming back to me. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean how much money I'm getting paid for my time either. That means how much I prioritize things based on how valuable they are to my time. So, I don't know, man. I do what I do, and I'm happy, and I think that's the important thing. You got to be self-aware. You got to know yourself. You got to know your limits. You just got to know yourself. You got to know what you want in detail, not just I want money. You got to know what you really want, man. Everybody wants fucking money. Come on, we all want money. I want money. Come, that's not what life's about. So, to me, I gotta know myself first. I gotta know me. I gotta know my limits, my boundaries, and all that. And then from then I can take care of everything else. Everything else just falls into place once I'm taking care of me. I think you mean how has Parenthood affected my life? Because it goes from being about you looking out for yourself, to being like, you're not looking out for yourself anymore. You're sacrificing yourself for whatever, for that little guy or that little girl or that wife or that baby mama. I got a wife and a baby mama, so that's a whole other dilemma to talk about some other time. But it affects everything, man. And I mean, I guess a more cliche kind of answer would be like, when I write words now, I think about, when my kids hear this, is this something I would actually want them listening to? I'm not going to be, there's things I've done and things that I could talk about on rap songs that I don't, because I need to have conversations with my kids first before they hear me talking about some things that I could be talking about, because I did a lot of dirt, man. Haynes Manatee 269, y'all know who you are. Man, how many people came in and out of that place, man? Anyway, yeah, Parenthood affects it all, everything. I'm touring Europe, man. No, not just Europe. I'm touring overseas. I'm doing shows in Canada, I'm doing shows in South America, I'm doing shows in Australia. I'm traveling around the United States as I please. Not necessarily as I please, man, but I don't want to just be performing though either. I want to do speaking engagements. I want to stop in at universities, music business schools, and talk to them. If y'all know, I got a music blog, anymusicpreneur.com, where I do digital marketing tips, and I do some consulting on the side and stuff like that. So education is an important part of what I do. So I don't want to just be touring and doing shows. I want people paying me to come speak at conferences. I want to be getting invited to universities to speak at seminars and workshops and guest lecture and classes. And there's a little bit of that happening kind of already. I can't talk about that too much because I don't talk about things until they're actually set in stone or the contract signed or it's there for you to look at. But I'm working on some things. There's some opportunities arising. So we'll see where this goes and how it goes. But yeah, man, I'm not worried about money as much as I am right now. I got less debt than I do right now, and I'm getting invited and asked to speak and perform all over the U.S. and overseas in all the different countries that I want to travel to and perform at. That's what success looks like to me, homie. There really isn't that there isn't like that one person that I'm dying to like collaborate with. If it happens, it happens, whatever. But I wouldn't mind doing a song with A$AP Rock and Slug. That would be dope. Who else? Master Ace, that would be a cool look. Blueprint, I wouldn't mind doing a track with Blueprint. Other than that, man, I just keep doing collaborations like I'm doing collaborations right now with other independent artists that I cross paths with on the same grind as I am, man. That's where I find the most joy and value, is just networking with people who are in the same game and trying to fight the same struggle that I'm fighting, because then I know I'm not alone. Because for most of my life, and I've touched on this in previous answers, is like I'm coming from the game from outside of it, man. I did not come up inside the city. I did not come up inside a culture. I observed, I watched, I learned. And hip-hop raised me, man. Hip-hop raised me, straight up. I can only pick one because there is no one favorite. I don't have a favorite of all time anything, but I'll throw out Jimi Hendrix' Are You Experience, just because of that moment in my life when I found that album and when I listened to it. And there's a lot of meaning outside of it just being a great album. There's lots of like metaphysical and transformational and memories and stuff like that around that album for me, so I'm gonna say that one. God's Bathroom Floor by Atmosphere. That's the one. Maybe The Woman with the Tattooed Hands, but definitely God's Bathroom Floor. That's it right there. I'm no one special. I'm just some guy who makes music, and I happen to like come from a family of musicians and whatnot. But I mean, my daddy's family, my original ancestor on his side, I might have said this earlier, but he was shipped over here in a boat as a servant. My mom's family is just some meager, from the earth, organic Appalachian hillbillies of the earth, from the earth. My mama grew up as a farmer. She was one of 5 girls. They all worked on the farm together. They sharecropped. They didn't own the farm. They sharecropped. You feel me? That's where I come from. My mama grew up as a sharecropper, and my daddy comes from a family of alcoholics who all have come from this line of indentured servitude and blah blah blah, getting shipped over here on the boat. Like everything I've done and anything you watch me do from now on, just keep that in mind. Is that I come from nothing, and it's all about learning about yourself, knowing what you want, and then going for it. It's really that easy, man. People like, I respect your hustle. Good, because you gotta hustle if you want what you want. Because you're not gonna get it just sitting around waiting for a handout. It don't work like that. No one's ever handed me shit. I'm not going to say names because I leave people out and then they feel and get hurt, and I'm not going to play that, but I'm eternally grateful for everyone who's ever supported anything that I've done or that I do. And I will say this: Unlimited Sounds Publishing and Distribution, MPC Recording Company, Bonks, Oma. Peace. Bringing unmatched noise, knowledge, and sound from the hip-hop underground since 1999. What was the original name? I had a different name for this project, and I don't remember what it was. But Purgatory just seemed to best fit the themes. Like thematically, Purgatory kind of explains where I'm coming from on the lyrical content of this album. Almost every song sounds like it could have been written in that limbo between earth and heaven or hell.
Trapped like a bunch of babes. We think we so cool, we don't even hesitate. Trapped by an ego, designed by something fake. Fashioned by the few, opposed by the state. Thrown in the pen by the pigs who claim the stake. See the stalks rise, Babylon shows its face, but the walls